Yo, this is SoulDrum86 bringing you another video. This is actually my second attempt on making this video because when I tried to record it last night, it was very late. It was like 2:30 in the morning. I was staying up late. Thought I'd make a video, but I sounded so tired, so lethargic, non-energetic. It was bad. It was bad. But I'm gonna not try to keep you guys long, at least in terms of like telling you what this video is about. But you can see probably from the thumbnail or the title of the video, whatever I choose to call this video. But without further ado, I am done playing WWE 2K20, 2K period. I was about to say 2K25, but just 2K period. I've officially reached my limit. I feel now the same way that I felt when I stopped playing NBA 2K. You know what I mean? NBA 2K, we already saw what happened with that franchise and what they focus on. And that was also a franchise that I loved and I adored. NBA 2K was the game that I could play all the time. I know I talked to you guys a lot about how I love wrestling games and they're my favorite, genre-wise, they're my favorite to play. But if you were to ask me what my favorite game was back when I was playing NBA 2K, it would be NBA 2K. If somebody were to ask me, I think one time I did get that question, like, what's your favorite game? And it was always NBA 2K. I could play that game all the time. You know, a big reason why I stopped playing was not just because of the stuff that 2K themselves were doing with that franchise, but I stopped loving the NBA. And a big part of how I would play 2K was I would imitate what I saw. My favorite teams that I would love to watch, I would pick those teams in NBA 2K and I would play the same way that they play. Like I was a big nerd about it. You know what I mean? So like if I picked the Cavs, I would play like the Cavs. If I picked Philadelphia 76ers when they had Iverson, I would play like the Philadelphia 76ers. Literally, I memorized how every player would play in real life, and I would play the game that same exact way. And so a big part of why I'm not playing NBA 2K anymore isn't just because of what 2K did as a franchise. I don't have that love for NBA in real life anymore. So it took a lot of that fun factor away. Like it took a lot of that away. It's like I used to play the NBA Today because I knew that later that night I was going to watch those games. So I would pick like one, maybe two of those games when they implemented the NBA Today feature. And I loved it. You know what I mean? I loved imitating what I saw. Even when I started to mainly focus on just playing with the legendary teams, the game just stopped working for me. And so I just gave it up. I said, well, you know what? If they're not really if I'm no longer the focus, like the type of customer that I've always been to that franchise, when they kind of shove me out the way and people like me, then I'm just going to stop playing your product. And it's the same way with WWE 2K. I've never been the biggest fan of the 2K series. I think the 2K series has always been mid, but I think that they've always had something that was a draw, something that was there that was really good, at least good enough to help me enjoy the game still. Like 2K16, the Stone Cold Showcase. Guys, I can't tell you how many times I played that. You know what I mean? Like over the years, I can't tell you how many times I played the Stone Cold Showcase. I think it's 2K's best showcase yet. Outside of the showcases that were in 2K15, I even like those. The Path to the Warrior was good. I thought the John Cena, CM Punk, the Shawn Michaels, and Triple H showcases were great. Thought they were phenomenal. Now, the game itself, a lot to be desired, but there were even things that you could do in those games that you can no longer do in 2K now. All these years later, there's things that you could do in those older games that you can't do now, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. It really is. But at the end of the day, you know, the universe mode, how many videos are we going to have to make? Hey, add this, do that. This will make this better. This will make that better. Make it more immersive. Do the whole commentary team thing, have a set of commentators for Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. Byron Saxton is still on the commentators table. Why, 2K? Are we getting that lazy that we can't change like how the commentators are set up now? Like we can't do that. That's just crazy to me, man. It's just it's those things. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, okay, we won't get a season mode. We can't get a working universe mode, an immersive universe mode. We can't get a Road to WrestleMania. Fans also ask for that yearly. They ask for that to come back. And I just kind of run out of things to try to make that game fun. I've ran out of things to try to make that game fun, guys, and it sucks. It really does. It really does suck. Like, one of the things that I discovered, and now I know that this is silly. You can laugh at me if you want, but I've talked about this before. I used to prevent going to community creations because I thought that if you downloaded the wrong thing, I thought that it would ruin your console. I thought downloading the wrong thing could ruin your console, so I stayed away from community creations, and I never knew much about it. I knew a little bit of what it was, but I didn't watch a lot of YouTube videos back then on 2K. I watched our WWE 2K. I watched at that time. I was mainly watching people like Shakedown and iPod King Carter and Cash Nasty, and I was watching the NBA 2K guys. I wasn't really watching a lot of the WWE 2K people, so I had no idea about a lot of stuff. In 2K22, WWE 2K22, once I discovered community creations and I started using that, oddly enough, even with all of its flaws, even though it still wasn't a great game, I started to actually have fun with WWE 2K. I started to actually like it. I started to enjoy myself. And what did they do this year? They kind of took that away because it was no longer cross-platform. You couldn't download from everybody. So it was like, well, look at my choices. Look at my choices now. Even though I was still able to find great creations, at the time, before I stopped playing 2K25, it was like, well, I got all the arenas, and every time I would try to go back and look for new arenas, because they took away the cross-platform, it took longer for new stuff to pop up because people actually took their time, rightfully so. People take their time when they're making this great stuff for us, these arenas. They're trying to make sure they're as detailed as possible. When they're making superstars, they're trying to make sure the superstars are as detailed as possible. They're doing all of this stuff. And so when you take away the ability to have creations from all of these different platforms, well, of course, you're going to have a situation where people are going to have to wait longer for new stuff to be uploaded. And that was just kind of the nature of the beast. And so it was like after a while, I was just like, you know what? With the stuff that they take away, with the stuff that they implement that we didn't ask for the changes that are happening, for the lack of transparency that happens, unfortunately for the people who paid for the season pass and all this other stuff, I look at it and I say, well, how can I continue to support this game? What is in it for me to continue to support this game? What is in it for me to continue to play this year in and year out? And I apologize for anybody who subscribed because you love the 2K content, but I just cannot play it anymore. I'm making this video in a lot of ways for you guys, you know what I mean? Because I don't even really like to complain about this game anymore. I don't even like making video content, continuing to talk about the things that they're lacking and the things that they're not doing right. But the other part of this is, on the other side, the flip side, I can't find a lot of reasons to celebrate this game. It's hard for me to talk about the good when it comes to WWE 2K25. It really is. It's hard. Just 2K in general. It's hard for me to talk about the good when I feel like there's so much bad. And it's not even just the bad in terms of like the game itself. It's the direction that they're heading. It's the direction that they're heading is a part of the bad as well. So I don't know, man. You know what I mean? Like I really just, I don't know. But here's what I do know. When I play Forza, which you see right now, I'm having fun. I don't have to look for the fun. I don't have to do certain things to make the game fun and say, oh, well, if I do this, then I'll have fun. You know, when I play the Crew, I don't have to look for the fun. The fun is there. If I play Gran Turismo 7, the fun is there. I don't have to look for it. It's there. If I play Maximum Football, free game, the fun is there. It's not perfect. It's got a lot of work, which they're going to be continuing to update. But man, believe it or not, I'm actually having more fun with Maximum Football than I've had with Madden or college football. And college football was good. But just EA in general, I'm enjoying Maximum Football just on a fun factor. I know that there's things that those games do better, but just on a pure standpoint of just absolute fun, I'm enjoying myself with Maximum Football. I didn't have to do anything specific to enjoy the game. But with 2K, I always have to kind of find the fun. I'm sick of trying to find the fun. The game just needs to be fun. My number one rule is if I'm not having fun, then I gotta stop playing. And so from here on out, there won't be any gameplay. I mean, I might still make it if I hear about 2K doing something crazy, doing something very anti-consumer, I'll be here to make a video on it. But outside of that, this is why there's been no gameplay for 2K. I'm just done with the series. Just plain old done with the series, man. So again, man, I want to apologize for anybody. But look, this isn't a bad video. It's not a sad video. Ultra Pro Wrestling content will be all over this channel. Wrestling Code, when that comes out, I'm hoping that game is good. That's going to be all over this channel. Any wrestling game that comes out in the future will be all over this channel. But WWE 2K sadly won't. And I'm not going to miss it because I have not had the urge to reinstall. Just haven't. But let me know what you feel in the comment section, guys, man. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you understand. It's your boy Soul Drum 86, and I'm out. Peace.